you for joining me on the journey. This is Completed Christianity. Back again, next episode of Being Complete. Second episode in the Mark of the Beast series here. And then after that, we should be able to settle into our schedule some. And that would be the days here considered on the screen. The second video of the Mark of the Beast. And its bearing on salvation we discussed in the last video, and when the application comes in to send people to the lake of fire. Last video was proof eternal damnation is not for all. This video will discuss the pre-end times timing of the mark. And next time, what the mark is, what it's not, calculation of the number of the beast, and avoiding the mark. To get into this, first we're going to have to discuss about the Antichrist, or this isn't going to make sense. So, today, what we are taught about the Antichrist, who the Antichrist, and basically the whole end times understanding structure, that this is all erroneous, and it's been fabricated by men who knew it was erroneous. And I'm going to get to that, and we'll do more videos down the line that'll absolutely prove this, absolutely bear this out to where there's no question about it. And so the Antichrist, if you go back to the timing of the Protestant Reformation, which officially begins in 1517 with Martin Luther tacking his 95 Theses to the door of the church in Wittenberg, Germany. And these 95 things were things where the Catholic Church was in error according to the Scripture, because Luther had begun to translate the Scripture. And so he began to see these things. He nailed these things up. Most of them had to do with the indulgences that the Catholic Church was participating in, and it was wrong. And Luther put that up to show that it was wrong. And he just wanted to do good. He just thought, oh yeah, they're all going to see. And the Pope, they're all going to say, oh yeah, we're doing wrong, so we need to do right. Well, that wasn't the case. So, in those days, when the Scripture began to be translated, and with some forerunners before that, going back to Wycliffe, who was known as the morning star of the Reformation, back like in the 1100s, I believe, Wycliffe, he had an understanding, and all the way through to Martin Luther, there was an understanding. And this also has to do with the beast in this understanding. The beast and the Antichrist, they're not the same thing. The Antichrist is part of the beast. But these men, Wycliffe, Luther, and Spurgeon, these men, they span a timing of about 600 years. And they all said the same thing about the Antichrist, who the Antichrist is. And they all said that the Antichrist is the Pope. And they're right. That doesn't make any sense to most of us today. But the thing is we didn't live the time, and we didn't live the lives that these men lived. We didn't see the things that they saw, and we didn't understand the things that they've done. Because what's happened is, when this Protestant Reformation started in 1517, by the 1540s, there was a counter-reformation launched. And this counter-reformation has caused everyone to believe that these things aren't true, because the Counter-Reformation was all about dispelling the one unifying doctrine of the Reformation, and that was that the Pope is the Antichrist. Not the Pope that's going to be in the end time, in a final 7 years. No, the office of the papacy, the man who is the Pope at all times, is the Antichrist. That is what you would call the church, which is better termed the body of Messiah. That's what everyone taught for centuries, for 600 years. That is what everyone taught. And it's really more like 700 to 800 years that this was taught. And it's completely lost today. And that's because the Counter-Reformation has counteracted it all. And we just don't understand how that is and how that works to this day. So the Antichrist and the beast, they're not the same thing. The Antichrist is part of the beast, but they're not the same thing. Let's move on with this. And what we're going to look at here is the timing of the understanding of these men prior to our modern age. So John Gill, this written by 1763 on Revelation 14:9, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So that means that these people that receive this mark, that they openly profess popery and swear allegiance to the man of sin and do all they can to support his interests. So in this statement, we see that John Gill, his understanding is that the mark of the beast isn't something off into the future. The mark of the beast is something that's now, it's active, it's present, and it always has been since the revelation of the man of sin, since the induction of the man of sin, since that there was an actual papal system. This is the man of sin, and this man is the one who this mark is basically kind of attached to, and his whole system, this beast system that he is part of and that he rules and he reigns over. So next look on Revelation 13:17, still John Gill, save he that had the mark, that's those who took the oath to be true to the Pope or made public profession of the Popish religion. So those taking the oath would be like the clergy. Those making a public profession would be like the congregation. Again, it's a picture into a proclamation that this is a now thing. It's not a future thing. This futurist understanding was created by this counter-reformation to take the spotlight off of the Pope. John Gill's exposition, Revelation 13, or the name of the beast, Papists, so called for the Pope. Thus, the anti-Christians are called, this is what they're called, they're presently called this, that's who they are. They are called from Antichrist as Christians are from Christ. It's still a present tense application of these things that have to do with the mark of the beast. So Albert Barnes, this bleeds us over into the early 1800s on Revelation 13:16, applied to the papacy. The meaning is that there would be some mark of distinction, of some indelible sign, something which would designate with entire certainty those persons who belong to it and who were subject to it. It is hardly necessary to say that, point of fact, this is eminently characterized the papacy. All possible care has been taken to designate with accuracy those who belong to that communion. And all over the world, it is easy to distinguish those who render allegiance to the papal power. So again, this is Revelation 13:16. This is about the mark of what he's talking about here. And it gives this present tense application of the mark of the beast. So this is the timing that is going on of the mark of the beast. This timing of the mark of the beast, it is a now thing. It is a historical thing. It has always been going on. You only think that's not true, basically, because the Antichrist told you it's not true. Psalm 89:34. My covenant I will not break, nor alter the word that has gone out of my lips. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Comments of opposition are welcome. Just don't say anything dumb like we're not under the law. We're under grace because you've been taught to use that verse outside of the bounds of its intended context. Subscribe now. Smash that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you get notifications of all future videos.